Hey there everyone, I'm Marco Couvet, the host of Expat Experts podcast, and this video is extracted out of a longer interview with Natalie Gushina, a Russian who lived in Ireland and now in Greece after falling in love with a Greek guy. She also discovered her passion for photography and now is her profession.
So even now when I introduce myself, I still feel a bit shy saying a photographer, but it's been now full 4 years, which I was doing this for, it was commercial. It was actually a lot of very happy customers, wonderful customers who, left their reviews saying that they love the outcome. So I guess I can exhale and say, yes, I'm a professional photographer for the last 4 years.
Nice. You said it came with an inspiration, let's say like this, or also the need of willing to do something due to the situation of moving around a little bit and finding a job that allowed you to do that?
It's really difficult now to recall how it all started, but no, I have never dreamed about this all my life. I was never drawn to it when I was a kid or nothing like this. But once in Rhodes, when I was thinking what if I became a photographer and I got my first camera and I started to take photos of my family, of my friends, I got into this. I had this little desire to become better. Or for example, I would look at the photos of some photographers which I admire and it's mine are not like that. Why? What should I do? So it would be always get better, change things, I don't know, figure it out. So it started to become a really adventurous kind of game, when your mind is always working as okay, I would like to do this. I would like to do it with this person, planning the photo shoots, seeing some pictures that you would like to create. It became actually a passion.
Okay.
Yeah, so now I can say that I'm fully living this experience, I could walk in the street looking at people and it's not about beauty or anything. It's just interesting face, interesting, I don't know, movement
way
or some things. Exactly. It's I would photograph you. Or you would see a spot and you'd be oh my God, you could take such a great photo here, and you start having the little picture in your head. I think my husband would be come on, it's let's go. Because I would be, stopping on each corner. Athens, when we came here, it's a huge playground full of, new toys for me. Because here it's more urban than Crete.
Yeah.
Crete is more about the seaside, about beautiful old town. Whether here is just, structure, buildings, roads, blocks. I like all this shitty graffiti, all these ruins. This is what moves me now,
It's a kind of playground for photographers here. I mean, you need to be very much into the urban scene and liking more artsy in the sense of street art and this kind of stuff, and putting the environment around it. It's not so I don't know, nature here. It's basically
nature, not, but Athens is it has so many faces to this, because you go to Anafiotika area and it's really island-like looking houses. You go to these, let's say, hills which are close to Acropolis, so you can have their olive trees. It's a bit of nature, so you can have absolutely different photos there. Then you go into the streets, then you have the buildings, the lines, all this geometry, which I also love. And then you can go to the sea. It's far, but it's not impossible. Then you have the water, the sand, nice sun. It's a fantastic place to be a photographer.
You said you it started becoming a passion, and you started grabbing references from other photographers and things. But did you study photography at some point, or it was all self-taught on trial and error? How was your process of
Both, because at the beginning when I just took my camera, I was I'll figure it out. So I started to watch a lot of YouTube videos, obviously, a lot. And I wish I didn't, because actually when I took my first course with one Russian photographer, which style I admired, this is where I saw a huge improvement, and I saw that my pictures now look the way I wanted them to look. So I would definitely say that it was both, but courses from a particular people that were inspiring me, they boost my my portfolio and the way my photos look now.
Okay. So you very recommend to rather try to get to, I don't know, some courses from good photographers rather than trying to figure out
absolutely.
things.
I'm sure there are some prodigies, which they have their own thing
Yeah.
from the beginning and they know what they're doing. I was not. I knew what I wanted my photos to look like, but it took me quite a while to come to this point that, that I look at my photos and say, I like what I do. I love my photos. I like what I produce. And this happened when I started to, to learn from the other photographers, like this particular way how to take the photos, or the style, or like, yeah.
How would you describe your own style of photography?
I call myself lifestyle photographer. And I guess, and I heard this a lot, when people look at my photos, they say they look like, like print screen from a film.
Okay.
Which,
so that it has some movement in it, or like
it definitely has the movement, because like for me, motion in my shots is important. I don't like static. Okay. I don't like this, artificial pose and all this kind of things.
Modeling.
It's not me.
Okay.
I like a person who looks at my photos had this feeling of presence at this exact moment in the picture. It's like, you're watching some people doing some private things and you're like spying on them or something like that, if you know what I mean. So this is why a lot of my photos, people don't even look at me. They're doing their own stuff. They're in their own world, in their own moment. And I'm just, capturing what's happening at this moment, which does not mean at all that they're doing whatever. I still direct the process. Like it's actually a lot of recommendations and then maybe like fixing stuff, but the results would be like that. It's a frame from a film. It's the candid, very intimate life. Something that makes you want to look at the photo, think what's happening, why they're doing this. Something like that.
How is the process normally work? Like someone contacts you, they want a photo shoot, it's you finding someone. Did it ever happen that you find someone in the street and you stop them and you say, sorry, you have an amazing face?
I did this once. I did this once at the very beginning of my career in Crete. We went to this fantastic beach called Balos. It's famous for its like white sand and blue waters.
Yes. I've never been, but
if you ever in Crete, you have to visit, because it's nothing like anything else. Anyway, I took a camera with me and I remember seeing this couple. They were Italians, really pretty. I loved the way they were interacting with each other. And I was like, guys, I am a photographer. Would you like me to take your photos for free if you don't mind? And they were like, sure, do it. And I was at the very beginning. I wasn't really, aware of the things I'm doing and how I'm doing this. But I remember the result was like, wow, because sometimes it depends a lot on people who are in the frame, and they obviously were not new to that thing.
Okay.
So like imagine all these fantastic surroundings. This was an overcast day, a mountain on the background, this blue water, and this like gorgeous people with nice tan. Like I still have these photos in my profile, I think. So yeah, I did it. And then I did other couple of times. But now, being 4 years in photography, I definitely prefer to plan the things. I'm the person who has to have the mood board, which is some kind of references. Yeah. Like at the beginning, I was when writing, what we're going to do, where we're going to go, like doing these little pictures, which I will then take. So yes,
Do you go from the process of like having an idea of what you like and then finding the people, or the people contracts you in the way of like, I would like that, or what is your preference? Like,
you mean like it's like idea or people, like idea first or people first?
Yeah, exactly.
It depends. Sometimes there are, things which I see a person, and then in my head I start building this puzzle. Like, what would she wear? Where would it be? How would it go? Or it could be an idea, and I would be like, so who I want to see in this frame? Usually this happens, for the photo shoot, which I do for my portfolio, or like some ideas that, I have and I don't kind of do this with the clients. So then I would be like looking for a particular person, a look. Maybe, like lately I was drawn because I'm 42-year-old person, like I can more relate probably easy to the women of my age, like 35 plus. So I'm looking at women which now 40 and older, and seeing them beautiful and still young, you know. I mean, like when you're 20, you think that at 40, life is over. But when you reach that point, you actually feel that, you know, like everything is just the beginning.
Yeah.
And I think I really want to show this with my photos of taking of this, like, you know, ladies who are in their 40s and 50s, but they still look wonderful, and they still, you know, and they can look wonderful, you know, kind of like promoting that.
Nice. That sounds really like entering into like a new scene of things like you.
If you liked this short video out of the full episode, you can find the link to it around here and in the description below. Of course, if you are also interested in checking out other episodes, please subscribe and like.